what's the worst thing you ever did in school? And this could be worst thing, or it could just be something funny or interesting, or if you don't have a story, that's fine, because I came prepared. But Brad, did you have a story that you wanted to share?
Oh, I'm going first?
I can go first.
You want to close it out with your good story?
Yeah, I want to be the closer.
I mean, I wasn't like a bad kid in school or anything, but I do remember in middle school, I think it was 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. I actually don't remember it at all because either it was like too like traumatizing for me to like remember it or something, but apparently I got in a fight with someone.
What?
And it's just someone that's like, it was always like a bully to me. And
I didn't know this.
It was always this like one group of friends. And I think a lot of people don't realize like how much of a bully they were
After
to
the
people.
podcast, I want you to tell me.
I want
who this
names.
is. Yeah.
So apparently like it was in the hallway. You know how those hallways, like it was just straight lockers all the way down.
Yeah.
And so like apparently like the fight happened in there, and I like took his head and like slammed it into the locker.
Where was I on this day?
I don't know. I don't remember it. I just know my mom always brings that up when this topic comes up because
And you don't remember
I
it?
don't remember it.
Maybe you got
That's
a
wild.
concussion?
Maybe. Or maybe my brain just like blocked it out because
I wish my brain would.
like I think I might have blacked out like when it happened
That's scary.
because I probably just snapped.
All right. I'm going to stay on Brad's good side. That's wild.
Yeah, so like I got detention and everything.
I
for
should have
it.
gone first. That's the closer. That actually happened?
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, unless my mom was making things up. I vaguely remember the like lead up to it, but I don't know. I didn't know it like ended that way because I don't remember it.
There's only been 2 times I was almost in a fight in school, which is not the story I was going to bring up. But there's one time where it was someone that I rode the bus with. I don't remember what happened, but apparently like he was already annoyed or something, and I said something. And this was probably like 6th or 7th grade, and he just like turned around and started swinging. And I was just laughing, and like, cause I was like 8 feet tall, as you know, when we were that age compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
So I was able to just kind of like grab it, like, and push him away. I was like laughing, like, what is going on? And there was another time I was literally sitting in class, and I don't remember what happened to provoke this one either. But I just remember like getting punched in the back of the head for what I thought was no reason. That's all I really remember. Something had to have kind of happened. But like I get punched in the back of the head. So like I have to like stand up and act like I have to just be ready to go because somebody's clearly attacking me.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a fighter. But then like the teacher was there. And it's like as soon as I stand up, like the teacher got involved. But that's wild. Your story is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
definitely-
remember it. so-
I'm gonna want names. And you don't remember? Do you remember like why it happened? Nothing. Like
I remember the lead up. Yeah, I don't remember exactly
like he was
what
just a bully
saying.
though.
Yeah, it was just those guys just always gave everybody a hard time, and it was. I was one of the people like, and most of the time I could just shrug it off. You know.
So according to the legend, did you start the actual physical fight first?
I think so.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Jacob, do you have a story? Because I guess I'm closing.
I think
don't
I
wanna follow
do.
that.
There was one time, I don't know if it was really a bad thing, but it was just more kids being stupid. We were playing sharks and minnows in gym class, and one of my friends, he was my friend, but he was intentionally letting one of his friends, like me and him were the sharks, and he was intentionally letting one of his friends like go by and not let me get him. And I was like, that's cheating. And he winds up and socks me in the face, and I was like,
Oh my God.
I was so stunned. I didn't know what to do. And then, so I just socked him back. And then we both just stood there like, okay, that was weird. And then we both got sent to detention, or not detention, but the principal's office.
The weirdest things happen in school.
It was so weird. And like, nobody ever talked about it. And like, me and him never talked about it again. It was just a freak weird accident. Not accident, but just, he just punched me and I punched him back. And I was like, all right, whatever.
That's so wild.
Wow.
It was.
Okay, the closer. It shouldn't be the closer. Brad should have been.
I didn't think it was that exciting.
I think it's just weird thinking of you fighting with someone like that.
I mean,
I just like, as someone that knows you, you're so like cool, calm, and collected all the time.
yeah, but don't mess with me.
Yeah, I know that now.
Well, the thing is, like, it's just like they've been doing it for so long.
No, I kind of understand that. Like, at some point, you need to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, like, I'm just not gonna, like, sit there and take it.
I'm going to be disappointed if I don't know who they are.
You'll know.
Okay, so when I was in high school, and I don't remember, I had to have been like a junior or senior. I mentioned the story I was going to tell. You kind of are familiar with it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Were we seniors in high school when this happened?
I think so, because
I know we could all drive.
yeah, I think it was, yeah, because you guys graduated that semester.
Yeah, I was going half days for half a year.
Exactly. And I think it happened during the half day, right?
I don't know. I guess that's not important. It might have been junior year because I don't think it did.
Oh,
But
I don't
so,
remember.
anyways, the school had a pep rally that it was announced. We were supposed to all go to the gym, be peppy, and then leave school like an hour or two later. Well, as soon as classes let out, when people were supposed to go to the pep rally, there's kind of like this almost like buzz in the air where like people were like, you just knew like everybody was like, how can we get out of this and just leave school early?
Yeah.
And so me and my group of friends were also like, let's just leave. let's leave school. Like,
Yeah.
what's the worst that could happen?
It's something that like most, like the seniors always did, like in the past,
Yeah.
and they always got away with it. And then I think the teachers kind of,
Were you with me when we did this?
I don't think so.
Okay, so anyways, so the classes let out. Me, and it had to have been like my girlfriend at the time. I don't know if Tyler was with me or not, but Tyler also participated in this. But so
Yeah.
we are getting ready to leave the school, but they had teachers stationed at like virtually every door.
Yeah.
And so we're like walking around the school trying to figure out how we can get out of here real quick before the pep rally starts. And one of my football coaches was at one of the doors, and he sees me and my girlfriend at the time walk up. And he's like, I don't care what you do. You just can't do it at this door. and so we end up, we find a door. I don't remember how or why, but like we found like an unmanned door. And so me and her leave through this door, and like we get outside and you can just see like not a lot of kids, but like there's kids just darting through the parking lot, like diving around cars, like juking around, like running through the parking lot, like trying to unlock their cars real quick. There's cars just gassing it to get out of the parking lot. And so I even think I saw one car like back into another car. Like it's just craziness.
Just to get out of like the next 2 hours of school.
Yeah, and it was a pep rally. It wasn't even like school. We just wanted to leave. And so me and her got away. But then we found out later that our friend Tyler, I think I can probably just say his name.
You already said it once.
Yeah. So Tyler got caught. He tried to drive off, and out of the school, but he left a different way than we did. He drove, so he had to drive past the school, where we drove, like, there was a way to leave the school from, like, driving away. We didn't have to drive by the building.
Yeah.
And he got basically stopped by the vice principal, who just, like, flagged him down, and I guess Tyler just stopped, like, instead of just drive.
Yeah.
And he got detention for it. But then he didn't go to the detention, so he got suspended.
Oh my God.
So he got suspended for just trying to leave from a pep rally and get out of school like an hour early,
That's
basically.
so funny.
Yeah. I guess that's really the worst thing Tyler ever did in school.
I think
got
that
away
was
with
senior year.
It might have been.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Had to have been because
Yeah. And I don't think you guys would have been confident enough, like, as a junior to do that.
Yeah, maybe not.
Like, once you're a senior, you have, like, all the confidence in the world to do
I don't
stuff
know
like
why
that.
that would have happened, because I was leaving school at like noon or before noon on those days. So I don't know why. The pep rallies were usually at like 2 to 3 or whatever. But that's
I don't know.
beside the point. I got away with it. Tyler didn't. It was funny. That being said, I have another story kind of along the lines that I thought of when I thought of this question, and it's not the worst thing, but it's by far the weirdest thing that ever happened to me in school.
Okay.
And I don't think you guys have heard this story. We're like, Brad, you were familiar with the last one.
Yeah.
When I was probably an underclassman, probably like a sophomore. I was on the track team, and I was like good at a lot of things in track, but not like the best really at anything, especially at that point. And so when you're that and you're like a sprinter, but not like the number one sprinter on the team, you end up running a lot of 400s, which is one lap around the track. It's a sprint. Not important to the story, but I'm setting it up. I'm doing a great job. Don't judge me. So I get placed in a 4x4, which is the last event that takes place at the track meet. Mm-hmm. And it's me and a bunch of upperclassmen, like leaders on the team, like they're kind of running the show other than the coaches.
Yeah.
And it's a close meet. And I think we had to win this 4x4 to win the track meet as a team. And so one of the upperclassmen was like, he was like, all right, guys, we really need to have like maximum like aerodynamics. Does everybody have matching compression shorts?
This vaguely sounds familiar.
I'm like,
I think you've told me this.
Matching like we're going to take our shorts off and we're going to be a bunch of children running around the track in our underwear. I was like, I don't, this is not going to help our time. I'm not doing this. Well, guess who ended up doing it? So yeah. And the worst part, guess who ran first out of the four of us? Me. So I have to pull my shorts down, get out of my track shorts. And I'm standing there in compression shorts, so underwear, and I'm lining up for the race. And nothing against her, but to top it all off, my girlfriend at the time, who was, we'll say kind of the jealous type, walks up and sees me.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Her softball game had just ended. She walked over, and the first thing she sees is her boyfriend standing in front of a crowd of people in his underwear about to race. And she was like, she walked up, she was like, really? And then they're like, on your marks. Oh, no. And so I had to sprint a whole lap around the track in my underwear.
Yes. Anybody else do it?
Yeah, everybody. Okay. No other teams, just our team.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
I mean, there had to have been like some pervert there. Like, this is the best thing. But that's by far the weirdest thing to ever happen to me in school. And for the coaches to just be like, this is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like super weird when you like, That's essentially what people like at the NFL combines and stuff. Like that's essentially what like guys are. But
Yeah.
like I'm like 15 at the time,
Yeah.
having to run in my underwear.
Well,
in
whoever
front of a crowd of
suggested
people.
that was a moron. Whoever thought was like, yeah, I need to
Trying to think
I
of
need
who
to
was
cut
on
my
that
time
team.
by 0.01.
After this podcast, we're gonna be naming a lot of
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
I mean, I know vaguely who.
I don't know if you guys would know these
who
guys.
would have been on that team.
I only remember the person whose idea it was, and I think one other guy who you guys know maybe also participated in this. But like I only specifically remember the guy whose idea it was.
Nobody else like in our grade, in our class.
That's what so the guy who did it was probably 2 classes above us.
So Jacob's class.
Probably. And yeah, so you might know him. And then the other person I'm remembering who I think was maybe on it was in our class. But yeah, that was super weird.
I mean, you're only there for what, 2 years? Yeah.
Well, yeah, 2 years. But speaking of track, Greg Scott, when he would run track, he told me this story about how he forgot to go to the bathroom before he had to run probably hurdles or something like that. So he gets down and does a stretch and stretches his hamstrings, and he just whips it out in front of everyone. Just looks around, makes sure nobody's looking, and just pees in the dirt where he's sitting, and then just covers it back up real sly.
And then the announcers were like, all right, and 200 hurdles or what's going on? One of the athletes is peeing on the field.
Yeah. He probably had a pee stain on his butt from sitting in the pee. But
Has a wet sock.
no, he just told me that, and that, yeah.
That's so weird.
He's hilarious.
Greg's done the craziest stuff in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good too at hurdles from what I remember and
Oh,
was
yeah.
told.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he was really good.
I think he was like a state runner. Anyways, that's enough of that. Brad, what have you been up to?
Stop
Anything?
asking me that.
I just want everyone to know that you don't have a life.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing going on. David, what have you been doing?
Did you have a show yesterday?
Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Yeah, so I had a couple concerts.
Here
recently.
we go.
We had a couple shows out in Pennsylvania, which actually leads me to another question. Brad, you haven't been sick, have you?
Well, why?
Like almost immediately after we filmed our last podcast, I started to get like really sick.
Oh.
Like I may have had COVID.
Oh.
It's a new thing. It's not COVID. It's a new thing going around, like RSV or something like that. It's like all the same things as COVID, except for
Like it's been 3 weeks now and I'm still coughing. Yeah. I'm not contagious. Like
my kids have it. Abby has it. I had it. I just got over it. Like I slept for 18 hours the other day.
yeah, like it was a
Trying to get
cold,
over
but
it.
I had a fever. Basically, was what it was.
Eyes were
And-
hot. And I was
yeah, but
Wow.
I'm glad I didn't get you sick because there's a long time.
I
Where
mean,
like,
I'm always sick, but just not contagious.
you
sick,
remember I
so-
used to just always get you sick. Like anytime
Brad's
I would
so
always
sick.
get sick, and then you would immediately get sick after me, and it was always
Yeah.
my fault.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I used to get sick all the time.
Well, so because of that, I got healthy enough that I was like, I'm probably not contagious to go do our Pennsylvania run of shows that following weekend. But I was heavily dependent on cough drops and Pepto-Bismol for that car ride to get over there. It was not
Pepto?
Yikes.
good. I don't want to talk about it, which is why I brought it up. So that was not great. But other than that, I haven't been doing much. I've been just busy with keeping my head down, working. How's life going for you, Jacob?
I went to a music festival a couple weeks ago for Halloween with a couple friends of mine, Jordan and Jackie. It was pretty cool. Let's see, what did we do? No, we just went for pizza and went to a music festival. Stayed up way too late. Recovered for a whole day. And the next day,
Nice.
nothing really. Just working all the time.
I feel that.
Oh, I moved Abby and the boys in their new apartment now.
What part of what area are they living in?
Maryville.
Is that north still?
Yeah. It's up by her mom, which is fine.
It's a hike to see the kids, but
yeah, but now they have a place and we can just meet. She's gonna run off and do errands and stuff while I hang out with the kids at the house every weekend, or hopefully every weekend. But no, other than that, the boys are good. Well, they got sick, but everything's good. I have no life either. I can't really think of anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I went out line dancing last night. That was pretty cool.
Can you show us some of your moves?
No. It hurts.
He's in pain right now.
I told you guys, I told them earlier that there was a move out line dancing, and I slammed my knee to the ground. Or there was a move where you had to slam your knee to the ground and put both knees down and then get back up or something like that. And I slammed my right knee down so bad that I could not get back up. I was stuck in that position, and some old lady had to come help and pick me up, walk me to my table, because I was like, oh.
I actually just did something similar. I was working and I had to kneel. I was kneeling down to I think it was to unscrew something on a machine, but I just bashed my knee against the machine, and it was one of those things where it hurt so bad, I couldn't, I had to lay. So I laid down on the floor writhing in pain for 30 seconds, and then it started to go away, but as it got good enough that I could stand back up, I started to get sick to my stomach.
Oh my gosh,
it hurt so bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's never fun.
Knee injuries are never good. I remember I had a terrible knee injury playing at camp, dodgeball or something. One of the rougher kids tried to juke me out or something and did a spin move and whacked his knee against the side of my knee, and I collapsed. And I almost passed out from the pain. And Lucy, I don't know if you guys remember her.
Oh, yeah.
But she came over and she was just like, "What did you do to Jacob?" And I was just like, "What'd you do to me?" Because he was fine, and I was just sitting there "Oh!" And I couldn't run the rest of the camp. That was terrible. But yeah, knee injuries are the worst.
Well, then anytime something like that happens, especially at our age, your pride hurts as bad as the pain itself.
Yeah, you're walking around my knees hurt. I'm oh, I'm 51 now. Not 31 anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
as we get older, it takes so long to recover from that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will probably take me a week and a half to get this golf ball on my knee to shrink down.
3 years later, you're still going to have knee issues.
Yeah, it's probably a fracture, and I'm just going to walk it off like Daniel did with his foot. But whatever. We'll figure it out.
All right, so I'd really like to get into this because I think our main topic's going to be a good one.
Hopefully.
Now, there's a lot to this. Brad, would you like for me to explain it as someone who is dumb, and then you can go through and correct all of the horrifically wrong things I say?
I guess so.
Okay.
I'm not an expert on it, so
You're better than me.
I just read about it.
So, coming from someone who doesn't follow this stuff and only knows anything about it because his wife told him. So Elon Musk bought Twitter. And from my understanding, it was almost like a publicity stunt at first, and then he signed a contract and was going to back out of buying Twitter, but then was going to get sued or was sued and ended up having to follow through with buying Twitter. How am I doing so far?
You got the broad strokes, I suppose.
Okay. So, old Mr. Musk, first day in office, or walks in, fires basically half the staff.
Mm-hmm. I see you reading my notes now.
Well, I'm trying to stay kind of on topic. So, ends up firing like half the staff. And then one of the big changes he makes, now that he has no one there that knows how to do anything, is he starts essentially selling the blue verified check marks for $8 to anybody. So now, instead of actually having to be the person that you say you are to become verified, you can just pay $8 and anyone can have the check mark. So that happens. While all this is happening, old Mr. Musk realizes he needs the staff members that he fired because he doesn't know how to run everything, and neither do some of the other staff that are left. And he starts offering people their jobs back, and they, as far as I'm aware, all or mostly all decline. And he also
Out of principle, or they found
I didn't
something
hear about
better?
that.
Yeah. Well, again, I could be horrifically wrong. I'm just spreading misinformation because that's what Musk wants.
It's great.
That's all right.
And where was I at? Oh, and he also requests that all the staff that's been working from home since COVID, he gives them like 24 hours to come back to the office and start working in the office 40
Get
hours a
out
week.
of here. That's retarded.
Yeah, and that's while all that's going on. And then obviously, what could go wrong with everybody being able to be verified for $8 a month or whatever it was? What happens is people start making troll accounts that are now verified that gain huge followings. And so much to the point where it's, I believe, at least at one point, if not still, difficult to even find Elon Musk's real Twitter account because there's so many verified Elon Musk accounts out there.
Yeah.
And as well as other accounts. So I know like Eli Lilly, there was an account that basically tweeted insulin is now free. And then they had to go back and tweet like, no, insulin's not free. You still have to pay because being a billionaire is not enough for me. And so I believe that caused Eli Lilly's stock to plummet, I believe.
Imagine.
And I think that I'll look through the notes and see if I'm missing anything that I know about. I think that's as much as I know. How'd I do?
He basically summed it up. I don't really have anything else to say.
Do we want to deep dive into this? Let's see.
Here.
I mean, you kind of did it all.
I'm sorry. We should have had somebody better do this.
It's a bit of a crazy situation.
I'd say so, but at the same time, it's a social media platform. And I mean, despite recent presidents, I don't think Twitter ever really mattered in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I haven't had Twitter since middle school, I don't think, and I feel like my life is so much better for it.
Well, what's funny is it's having legitimate consequences.
Yeah, it
to
definitely
other
matters.
people's businesses.
It matters, but like
If it has the
guess, I
power
don't
to make Eli Lilly of all companies like lose billions of dollars and their stock to go negative of all the companies, it's a huge platform that has a lot of benefits.
It's
and
interesting how much
negatives,
Elon
but
Musk has affected the stock market. Just
yeah,
by
big
saying
Elon.
things.
Yeah.
yeah. This is only the situation that has caused the stock market to be affected by him.
And all this, to add on to it, he basically, to my knowledge, bought Twitter because he wanted like true freedom of speech.
Right.
And I believe now he is essentially, I hope I'm not just spreading misinformation. I think he's essentially censoring people just for completely different reasons now.
Yeah, so he wanted to like promote like free speech and everything because, you know, like Trump got banned from it because he was saying terrible things and like just being himself. And so other situations have happened like that. And so Elon wanted to like go back on it, like bring those people back, let them say what they want, give everybody the ability to have a check mark so they can do what they want, say what they want. And then at this point, since he took over, he's banned like more accounts for saying like bad things about him, bad things about Tesla, like bad things of like anything that's like controversial against him and his brands. He bans them. So it's like
I love watching the world burn.
Complete like 180 on like his whole outlook.
Well, and now I believe it's already looking like Twitter could go like bankrupt or out of business or get shut down.
Well, I don't think they can go bankrupt with him behind it unless he just decides not to keep investing in it. But
let me see exactly. I'll try to find the exact terminology here because I saw something about basically Twitter's not doing well right now.
Well,
like,
yeah, obviously.
It's just so interesting to me that how much social media and regular media look into Twitter to, I don't know, like what was that Bo Burnham thing where he talked about like I want to know how Ritz Crackers feels about domestic violence. I'm gonna look that up on Twitter, and it's like, why would I even need to care about any of that kind of stuff? People just want to find things to be, I don't know, up in arms about nowadays, because honestly, life is a lot more boring than people think. Rather than Ritz Crackers saying or condemning domestic violence.
So I found a timeline of like since Musk took over Twitter. Mm-hmm. I'm on Bloomberg.com to give them credit. Here's the timeline of everything that's noteworthy that's happened with Twitter since Musk took over. October 27th, Musk takes control, and he was forced to complete the deal to buy Twitter, essentially kind of like what I had already mentioned.
And that was because he said he was going to and then backed out. Or tried to back out, and it was like, no, this is a lot of money.
That's my understanding. I would imagine there had to have been things in writing, but
that's what I mean. Yeah.
October 28th, the next day, brands begin to take pause. So basically, a lot of big businesses, such as like General Motors, start pausing their Twitter ad campaigns.
Yep.
October 31st, top tweeters protest. And that the protest started, it looks like, due to the plans to charge existing verified accounts. And I guess the talk was going to be $20 a month, and then they changed it to $8 a month. Mm-hmm. And then November 1st, the next day, this says the timeline says teams working around the clock. So I believe this must be because people are getting fired. This on Bloomberg says the product team works over the weekend on Musk's idea to charge users for blue check marks. A photo of product director Esther Crawford sleeping on the floor of a conference room trying to make the deadline goes viral. Meanwhile, managers are asked to make lists of who can be fired. Employees print out their software code for review by Musk and engineers from Tesla Inc. to determine if their contributions are worthy of keeping a job.
That's so ridiculous. Because an engineer at Tesla is not going to know how the inner workings of the code of Twitter are like what?
2 days later, no, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
No, I don't know. I feel like he's just trying to pull a Bezos and try to have a umbrella over every single little thing and try to make Tesla like an Amazon kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think
I don't think it.
I think this happens because of ego.
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
Right.
ultimately. So 2 days after that, massive layoffs begin. And I'm looking for a number quick because I don't want to read all this. But essentially, they fired half their staff, and a lot of it was like upper people, you know, in corporate offices within the company. I don't know if it was real. I even saw a clip of him. I don't know if this was a real thing or a skit or something stupid. I saw a clip of him on the Joe Rogan podcast firing someone that he brought onto the podcast on the show in front of people.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know if that was real, but I watched that happen recently. So that was November 3rd. November 5th and 6th, he responds to celebrity protests. Unrest grows on the platform over the weekend, particularly over the issue of impersonator accounts. Actress, I don't want to get in all these names. So basically he says going forward, any Twitter handles engaging in impersonation without clearly specifying parody will be permanently suspended. So this is already just one example of him suspending accounts, which is something that he didn't want to be doing.
Yeah.
November 7th, Musk urges followers to vote Republican before Election Day. Don't care about politics, although I guess you can't avoid it with him. Musk sells more Tesla on November 8th. November 9th, Musk has to answer advertisers' questions. In an attempt to stem the departure of brands from the platform, Musk hosts a Twitter Spaces Q&A with the head of sales, Robin Wheeler, head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, and the CEO of Interactive Advertising Bureau, David Cohen. More than 114,000 listeners tuned in, including a number of official brand accounts such as Target, Pandora, Chipotle, Chevron. And Musk brainstorms about how his subscription product can grow by building more commerce into the platform, including by offering high-yield money market accounts on Twitter that users can link with their bank accounts. Soon after the company's blue checkmark option become available for purchase and immediately becomes a tool for impersonators, an account masquerading as Nintendo Inc. posts an image of Super Mario holding up the middle finger, while a fake Eli Lilly and Co. account tweets that insulin is now free. An impersonator Tesla Inc. account jokes about the car maker's safety record. Politicians and celebrities are also spoofed. This is such a funny time for this because there's all kinds of like voting going on within the political realm too. So the timing is really funny.
Yeah.
The next day, November 10th, more key executives quit as Musk warns of bankruptcy. November 11th, verified accounts get official tags. So Twitter adds badges that say official to verified accounts in some places, though confusion abounds.
Yeah, so now there's 2 check marks.
Yeah. You need to say official next to your check mark.
Yeah. Which is the entire point of the check mark in the first place.
More brands depart the platform, including Theater Guide Playbill, because of its tolerance for hate, negativity, misinformation. Our time with the social media platform has come to an end. Oh my gosh.
He tanked one of the biggest social media platforms in a month.
That's beautiful.
It was like
wild.
in a week or 2. 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It said October to November.
It is
or 28th to like now, I guess.
November 12th today.
So a couple of weeks. Wow.
And he took over, when did I say this was?
It was like October 28th or something.
With how relatively successful he is, you would think he's almost doing this on purpose. Or just doesn't care anymore.
I think it just goes to show that you can't, like, even though you have a lot of money in one successful business, like, you can't.
He has a few.
Well, you know,
PayPal.
Whatever, but PayPal.
Did he do PayPal? Or he sold it or something?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this has just basically been 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. But, like, you can't just buy something and like make all these changes within a week or a day, really. He like,
wouldn't that be wild if Twitter really did go under?
it would be nuts. Like it's really important to like advertisers and like brands and stuff.
Elon Musk co-founded PayPal.
Oh, co-founded, yeah.
Well, I thought that would be a good one. I'm thankful I found that Bloomberg article. That was really well done. All right, so that'll pretty much do it for the Elon Musk and Twitter talk. I apologize for hogging the show
This week on Twitter Talk.
Yeah, I didn't intend to completely take over on that. I thought I was going to make a fool of myself.
You really
let you
musked
fix
it up, David.
Get out.
Anyway,
That's a deputy dad joke right there.
I'd like to hand this show off to people who are more entertaining than me. Brad, what else are we talking about today?
I just feel like we're co-anchors on a news show now. So,
Now
how's the
for
weather
sports.
over there, Jacob?
Not great.
So, real talk, if we're not cutting this out,
like a blue
I
check
would
mark.
like everyone to know, everyone listening, watching this show, including you guys, you're all terrible drivers, and I hate all of you. I think Indianapolis drivers are getting worse, but like I noticed so many horrible drivers on tour, cutting people off, tailgating, almost hitting us. Or when we're home, like to and from work, driving the work truck, all these horrible drivers doing terrible things.
Yeah.
And when I was on my way home the other day from work, I'm driving, people are being morons. They're like tailgating me, even though I'm doing 20 over in the slow lane. And like, there's people cutting people off, and I'm like fed up with it. Finally, I'm pulling into my neighborhood, like a 20 mile an hour speed limit neighborhood.
Right.
Somebody's tailgating me in my neighborhood. I stop at the stop sign, and they don't stop. They drive around and give me the finger on the way around me. And I was probably going 5 over.
That's
in
why
the
you always
neighborhood,
keep
too.
a big gulp in your right here. Just fucking. I have
Anyways,
a lot of big gulps in my work truck that I'll just. I won't say
Buy
the
them
company I work
specifically
for.
for that.
There's 2 big gulps sitting in my whatever that's called, the console right there, right now.
Just daily throwing multiple big gulps at people.
It's got one of those like cup holders from like McDonald's that have like the 4 different. It keeps them in the back of this truck.
They're marked 1, 2, 3, 4.
Once you get to 4,
He's got cup holders in the back seat. He's
No.
got to reach back and grab cups when he runs out in the front seat.
They're all range from how angry I am.
Yeah.
4 is like just ice, just throw it.
or just urine.
Pulls up to the same gas station every morning. Jacob's going to be the same 12 drinks as usual.
Please,
Yep,
Jacob,
go get
stop.
them.
I can't.
Make 2 of them slushies today.
I am vengeance.
You have failed this city.
Anyways, you should all be ashamed of the way you drive. All right.
All right.
Next
Brad.
on topic.
Speaking
what
of
do we have
Batman
next?
quotes, Kevin Conroy died, and he was the voice of Batman from like the old
I
cartoons.
saw
and
this.
He
Yeah.
wasn't looking too good recently.
he wasn't looking good, but like 66 is like not that old.
No.
No, but looking at him, he probably, in his voice, he probably chain smokes like crazy.
Yeah, he might have. I didn't really look into like why he died, but the article I linked here didn't say why. But kind of sad.
All-time great from our childhood.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
I got, like,
he was
interrupted.
the OG voice of Batman.
And the Arkham
Besides-
games too, like those were so
Yeah,
good.
So good. Always so good. And, well, I say the OG, but Adam West.
Well, yeah, but
technically, but I mean, that's what everybody now, or Kevin, his voice, everybody thinks of as Batman.
yeah, it's the voice. It's like super iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, in other news, this one was funny. Apparently the Pokemon show, like the anime, has still been going on, which I thought it hadn't been going on.
It's been going
I
on, dude. It's
don't
on.
follow
It's
it.
on Netflix.
Huh.
There's like 20 seasons.
Yeah, 25 apparently. And so the big news apparently is that Ash has finally, after 25 years, finally become the very best.
And he still looks great.
Did he win a tournament?
Yeah, he won like the ultimate tourney championship or whatever. Like, but the thing that he was going after since like season 1.
Since he was 8.
Yeah, whatever age
Now
he was.
he's like battling arthritis and still looks like he's
still
8.
looks the same. Still has the same voice.
It was 10 years old. Because I remember.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I remember the show came out right when it hit 10. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was so addicted to Pokemon when I was
25 years later.
Pokemon.
I remember when Pokemon Go came out and it was so nostalgic. And I went out like the first night it came out. I was literally out all night, almost like the sun was about to come up when I got home. And like I can't remember, I may have gone out like by myself. Like I think I may have been out doing it alone, but then like I immediately ran into other friends doing it, like that I knew from work and stuff. So like I was tagging along with them for a while. It was so much fun.
It's so funny.
I remember when I worked at the Children's Museum, Pokemon Go just came out.
Yep.
And we would all be getting in trouble all the time because the museum got turned into a Pokemon gym. So everybody would just stand in the stairwell, just fighting each other all the time. And I was like, guys, you got to move out of the way.
Yeah, where I was working at the time was a gym too.
I played it a lot there.
Literally a gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Jacob, have you been catching up with Andor at all? Dude.
I'm waiting until it is all out. So I can just...
2 more episodes, but it's really good.
Good.
You're going to love it.
I hope so. Is it... So I don't know much about the character. So...
I mean, you saw Rogue One, right?
Yeah. So
I mean, that's all we ever knew.
It's just... obviously, it's a prequel to... That,
yeah,
so.
it's like how he like joined the rebellion, basically.
That's good. So it's most like going to be kind of like Rogue One, where there's no Jedis and stuff.
Yeah, there hasn't been any. Honestly, it's like the most disconnected thing we've ever gotten from like anything. Like, there's no Jedi, no Sith. Like, they mentioned Palpatine because it's like during the Empire.
And that's cool. I mean, that's kind of how I wanted to write my. I was writing a Star Wars D&D campaign, and then Disney came out with the exact storyline as what I was writing, and I just threw it all away.
Wait, haven't we talked about this? Were we talking about how it would be funny if that happened?
It did happen.
Or were you talking about that it did happen?
No, we were talking about it did.
Okay. I thought maybe like this was like a few weeks ago and we were talking, wouldn't that be funny if this... Okay, that's less.
It did happen. I think Bradford sent it to the Discord, and I was like, no! Basically, what my campaign was going to be about was young Dooku and his rise, or right after he separated himself from the Jedi Council and being a Jedi and going back and being a Count.
Young Dooku sounds like a hip hop artist.
Young Dooku. Little Dooku.
Right.
Yeah, young Dooku. Sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
And it was supposed to, like, I won't give any of the finer details, but I'm going to have to change, like, the big bad guys.
Did you watch it? Those shorts? They were just shorts, so
I know.
You could probably still work around it.
I know, but I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm going to change. Like how they're doing with Rings of Power. They're kind of screwing it all around. But have you been watching that?
Yeah, it was great. It was amazing.
It was a good story, but Galadriel's husband is magically dead somehow. He's been dead for 1,000 years, but he's in Lord of the Rings books. But anyway, I won't go over that. But
I don't care.
Yeah.
It was good.
The end part, yeah, where they revealed who Sauron actually was. I liked that. But he's supposed to be an elf, not a human. But it is what it is. I liked how, I really thought that old man was going to be Sauron. Mm-hmm. That was so cool, the way that they did that. They're like, nope, psych. But
Yeah,
who do you think he's going to do? Well, he's obviously not Sauron, so he has to be Gandalf because he's gray.
Oh yeah,
So-
they basically confirmed that it was Gandalf.
Well, it could be because there were also 2 other wizards or whatever that came around that time period, because Gandalf coming is like, I don't know, 1,000 years too early according to the books or whatever, or too late or something like that. But it's not the exact timeline, so people are speculating that it might be like the blue wizards that came before that were corrupted or like ran off to the west or something. But anyways,
Yeah, just the way that he was like talking and the things that he said was like totally Gandalf. So
for sure.
who knows? I guess they didn't specifically say that's who it was, but
No, he just said he was in Astari, which is the spiritual form of who like Sauron and all the other wizards are. But if he says like Mithrandir, that's like spiritual form name. So
yeah.
anyways,
Okay.
anything else? You said
We got one
Andor,
more.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I was going to transition it better than that, but Call of Duty. I was going to talk about how I'm excited to play the new Warzone.
Yeah,
That's
Wednesday.
Yeah, that's really the only Call of Duty I'll probably be playing outside of just being with you guys, like what we're about to do.
yep.
I don't know.
soon
I
as
think
we
we're gonna
wrap
switch
this
it up
up.
tonight. Probably not.
But are you guys enjoying the new game, the campaign, multiplayer?
Campaign was great.
It's good. It's hard.
It is
I'm
pretty
doing it on
hard.
hardened, and I'm like,
Oh, I just did it on normal, but you said you're still pretty early on in it, right?
yeah, I'm at the level where Captain Price and
Spoiler
the
alert.
other guy. It's not really a spoiler.
just
It's
playing.
like when they first get introduced into the game.
I
and
wouldn't even
you
know.
play as the guy from the first Modern Warfare.
Gaz.
Yes, Gaz. Where they're in the water and you're like trying to kill him.
Yeah, it's a good mission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it.
so they did a really good job of like,
Oh, and Ghost is so sick.
yeah,
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
they did a good job of like being really creative with the levels. Like you don't just like get a gun, like make your way to the end of the level, like shoot all the bad guys, and then it's over. And then there's a cutscene. Like each level is like really like different and elaborate. Like there's some like stealth ones, but like
There's like survival modes on it. Like the one where the helicopter crashes, like the first couple of levels or whatever. It's basically you have to fight to survive, not just like I guess they did that in the first one too, where you had to like fight on the rooftop or whatever. But
yeah, I don't think you've really gotten to like the most creative ones yet.
okay, good.
There's some really cool missions that make it probably one of the best Call of Duty campaigns.
I was going to ask, where would you rank the campaign?
I probably put it just behind the original Modern Warfare 2, just because that one was so iconic and the best. And this one is like a reboot, so like they took some stuff from the original, but most of it is just kind of brand new. They like retold it in a completely different way, which is really good. But obviously, like nostalgia plays into that a little bit. But I do think the original is still like a little bit better.
Do you guys feel strongly about the multiplayer on the game? Does that all feel good? You haven't played it?
It's really good. Yeah, I haven't played it as much as I would like to, just because every time I try to get on to play, Drew wants to play the old Warzone. So once the new Warzone comes out, like we'll all get into that.
Oh, I'm excited. This might be hard, but where would you rank the multiplayer? Or do you even think you could, like amongst the other Call of Duty games?
It's better than that shitty World War II one. Most recent World War II one.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was god awful.
Or even just like
that one started out okay, but
to make it easier, like towards the top.
For sure. I mean, they just took like the last Modern Warfare game, which was like nearly perfect, I would say.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of built on top of it. There are some weird decisions that they made with perks. I'm not a big fan of some of the like perk revamps that they've done where you like.
Was Modern Warfare 2 with the no Russians one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I agree that that was the best.
There's
one.
a reference in the new one. You'll see.
Good. I saw a Instagram story or something like that of this guy watching or videoing his girlfriend play all through Modern Warfare 2, and she finally, because she hadn't played No Russians or whatever, because there's an option that you can like not play that episode because it's too violent, and she did it, and she was scared, but she was videotaped doing it. She was just like, wait, how do I shoot? Who am I shooting at? Who are they shooting at? And you hear just, and she's like, ah!
Yeah. Yeah. Spoiler, they don't have that mission in the game. So I'm not saying it's in the game, but there's a post-credit scene.
Okay.
And it sets up a next game.
Good. No, good.
Involving that. So
Of course.
yeah.
But Infinity Ward does so good. I mean, they could make the rest of them for Call of Duty.
Yeah,
forever.
I want the other companies out. Like,
just because, like,
they need to stop.
after Black Ops 4, whatever that crap was, they need to.
Black Ops 3 or
Was it Black Ops 4, the one that was like strictly multiplayer?
yeah, that one was.
That one was garbage.
But 3 was garbage too.
3 was yeah. The campaign wasn't. The campaign was weird. It was like a fever dream.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
all right, we should wrap this up.
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
Jacob, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Brad, thanks for all your hard work as usual. Producer, co-host, marketing director, all those hats.
Marketing director.
Oh, did I just interrupt it?
Producer in the back, thank you.
Dang it, I thought you were done.
We're done now.
Please like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah.
Send us money.
Don't follow me.
Well, no.
Yeah, don't send us money. We'll waste it.
Send us views.
Thank you for thank you for the support.